All right, we are live. So,
Oh,
first and foremost, man, introduce the people who are going to catch this replay and just let them know how they can follow you on Instagram. Just let them know what you about. Just tell the people what's up, man.
hey, how's it going? I'm Tsinaat. I'm very similar to my Fulani brother, man. Fucking I align with bro a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about Pan Africanism, but not like you know what I'm saying. The hijacking, the hijacked version of it, or the bourgeoisie version of it, but like something that's like for us, and for us to discern and look through all the background and all the, between the lines type of stuff. I'm not good at introductions, man, but
No, don't
you
worry
know,
about it, man. Man, this is just a very, very like informal type thing that you can just like just kick the shit, but still like, like get the key points across. That's it, really. You know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I hear you, man. I hear you, but I'll tell you what, man. Stuff like this, man, I'm excited to read about, excited to learn about, especially like,
right.
with certain brothers and stuff like that, because this is something that like I've been
It's
craving
important.
for, man. Like speaking with other Africans and other, you know what I'm saying, us black folks and stuff like that. So we can just come together, man, and you know what I'm saying, like collaborate. And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, because at the end of the day, I'm kind of a loner, man. But at the end of the day, man, that shit is not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we want to see our continent be like where its rightful place and where it should be, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
can't be
definitely.
fragmented, man. So
Yeah, yeah, nah, but I kind of can understand why because I can say like for myself, I'm a loner too, but I do understand how important it is to work with people to get a common goal. I understand that completely, but it's just a lot of people don't are not sincere. A lot of people don't have the right intention uh, when you say this bourgeoisie Pan Africanism. I'm gonna
exactly,
be honest with you, bro. A lot of people have the Pan African card and the conscious card. A lot of them, what they want to do is just get pussy, bro. Truthfully speaking,
exactly, man. Are using it for
truthfully speaking,
popularity type shit
yeah,
or status,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, type
yeah,
shit, bro. Like this shit has to be within you, man. Like at the end of the day, it has to
yeah,
be
for
within you, and
real,
you have to like, I don't know, man. Like it's something that I don't want to shortcut, man. Like, or it's something that I don't want like just for myself, man. Like, like, cause I'm not
right?
even gonna lie, man. Like, man, I should continue, man, because some of the stuff, like, you feel me, like the hardship that goes on with Africans, bro, and just the shit that I have to read, man, and the other conversations I have, man. Like, it's hard not to internalize that stuff with your own, like with
Yeah,
your own life and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's because
yeah,
you just want to
yeah.
see like your continent be at where it
Facts,
should.
bro. It
Like
it yeah, yeah, because it eats at you every day. It's like, for example, like you may hear like something that happens in your region. Like, for example, something happens in Niger, like some jihadists blow something up, and you're like, fuck, bro. Like, damn. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, damn, man, we're so defenseless, you know what I mean, against this shit. You know what I mean? So you just think about things like that.
exactly, man.
You think about shit like that, like
Man,
fuck, we're
100,
so
like
defensive.
and that's what it all like boils down to, like how we're defenseless, man, and like we're used like as against each other, weapons towards like or even our own destruction and stuff like that, and it's very frustrating though too,
It
and man,
is.
it's
It is.
oh man, I just love how Walter Rodney, you know what I'm saying, put it into his book, that we're reading.
Right,
Give me 1 second. I just love how he put it into the book that he was like, that we were just reading, because
right.
it's just really frustrating, man. Like it's very frustrating how we just have to like, I don't know, man, like kind of, because he says they infiltrated a lot, man. Like everything good that we have, you know what I'm saying, they infiltrated it. And it's crazy, man,
Facts.
like how just like in the 60s, man, they're way more advanced than us, man. Like they knew about stuff like
Yeah, yeah. This is, you know, what's
it's
crazy
very,
about
very
this
like
book.
I don't know, man.
You know what's crazy about this book? This is a very technical book to read. Like it's a very
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, y- you can read it. It's like you can get into it, and it can be it. But to be honest, it's not really an easy read as people would think. You know, um, even with the first chapter, I mean, what did you get out of the first chapter? Like, what kind of key points did you feel were in the first chapter? Like, what kind of key points did you get out of the first chapter?
Well, you know what, man? I actually, you're right though. It's not an easy read, but at the same time, I thought it was very, very clear, and I thought it was essential, to break down the term development, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
back to
yeah.
like the nitty, the details of it, of what he's talking. Like he's setting
Right,
you up in terms of what he's gonna
right,
be talking about. And one thing that
right,
I took, man, is like the way he broke it down, and then applied
right,
it to like how human development started. From
right,
transitioning
right,
from
right, right,
hunter and gatherer to agriculture. Like it was
right,
just like
right,
a great like segue point to the
right.
to what he's like getting at and stuff. And it, I don't know, for me, man, it kind of just was like I can't wait to read more.
It
I can't wait to read
it
more.
did
But there
flow.
was a certain
It did
particular
flow.
part. Oh, it
No,
flowed
it
really,
did
really
flow.
well, man. Like,
Yeah.
but
Nah,
my
it
bad, I don't mean
flowed,
to
bro.
interrupt and stuff like that.
Nah,
But
nah, my bad for
one thing I like.
interrupting.
No, no, you're
Go
good,
ahead.
man. We're both excited and stuff like that to talk about this. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
no worries,
yeah.
man.
Go ahead though.
But
Go ahead.
I like how he said that all phases of development are temporary or transient and are destined sooner or later to give way to something else. Like I
Right,
thought that was like a good like microcosm, man, to help us understand more and
right.
more of presently, what kind of stage of capitalism we're in though and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
right.
bless you. And how like
Thanks.
that the capitalism is like stunning our development actually.
Right,
And the way
right,
that he brings
right,
the point is because he says that it is particularly important to stress this with reference to capitalism because the capitalist epoch is not quite over, and those who live at a particular point in time often fail to see that their way of life is in the process of transformation and elimination. Like, man,
right,
like,
right. And then to
and
set
it's like,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Sorry. Okay, and
I'm
then he
just
says, Indeed, it is one of the functions of those who justify capitalism, bourgeoisie writers, to try and pretend that capitalism is here to stay. And that is
right,
like, that is the
right.
issue, though, man, because even like when we're trying to
You know,
transition and develop, we're being brought back to like, you know what I'm saying? And they're gaslighting us. Like, we're being
yeah,
completely
yeah.
gaslighted,
Hey, hey, hey. And you know what's crazy about this capitalism? You know what's crazy about that too? Is
Hmm.
that he also says in the book that capitalism gave way to Western democracy. So when you look at
Yeah.
it, you have to understand we were never meant to be. Oh shit, he dropped out. Man, they ah shit. Let me try to add him back. Try to add him back. Let me see. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you now. I hear you now. My bad, man. That was weird. It just like took me off for a
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
man.
You know they're messing with us, man. They're trying to infiltrate our shit now.
Man, that's
Yeah, yeah. Nah. But what I was saying is that
was the Western. You was going on Western democracy.
yeah, that he said that capitalism gave way to Western democracy. So if that's the case, if capitalism gave way to Western democracy, then that should tell you something about Western democracy in itself. That
Exactly.
it's not really it's not really fitting, you know? It's not really fitting because if it was fitting for us, we would be ahead, you know? I'm talking about us Africans, you know. If Western democracy was like meant for us, then we obviously it would
Yeah.
make us get ahead, you know?
Yeah, but it like no, you're right because also like it just seeks us to force us into like European roles and stuff like that too. Not like to like certain niches that we have or certain like, like certain talents that cater to us or that we can do like
Hmm.
well in. And actually, it's shown though too
Yeah,
by our assimilation towards it, you know what I'm saying? It shows
right.
how we can adapt and we can adjust better than even them though, you know what I'm saying? Because we can adjust
Yeah,
and adapt their style, but at the same time like we're being, you know what I'm saying, like completely taken away from learning about us though. So
right.
the larger issue at hand is like, is rooted in jealousy in a way though as well, and when I'm reading this and stuff like
Pretty
that, I'm like
much.
thinking like why would they do this? Why would they have to extract our resources, and why would they go go do so much to prevent us from, you know what I'm saying, realizing like our true potential? And it all boils down to that, man, like to
But
jealousy.
it also boils down to them for the simple fact that when you look at it, and he says in the book, their mode of development became so industrialized that it got to a point where they had to basically extract all these mineral resources, and they still have people working for them, but there's only like a couple of people who are going to see the real wealth from the work. When you look at it, I
Yeah,
mean,
facts.
when you look at it, look at all the electronic companies and stuff like that. You can have a million people working at Apple Store, right? But who's the head? Who there's like like very few who are seeing the real money that is coming from, Apple. But guess where the material from these goods come from? It comes from places
Congo.
like the Congo, comes from these places, and you know who who gets the short end of the stick? We get the short end of the
We
stick.
all the time.
The the employees get the short end of the stick, because it's cool, but it's expensive to live in America anyway. Like, you kind of got to really be hustling. Like $15 an hour is cool, but it's not like damn, you're doing good. You feel me? So you look at that factor, and then another thing that he said in the book that was interesting to me is that unfortunately most of the wealth of Africa exists outside of the continent, which is very messed up.
Very messed up. Like, and most of the damage that's being done is, don't make it seem like it's internal, you know what I'm saying? And in a way
Right.
it is though. Like I like how he said the thing with the colonialism though too, how during the
Yeah.
colonialism it was like more like direct, like, you know what I'm saying, with the
Right.
colonial powers having their actual hand in it. But
Right.
with independence though and stuff like that, it transferred to them like, all right, how can we still dominate but by being
Right.
remote to where we're still at, and it's in the form of companies,
Right.
foreign
Right.
investment, the
Right.
imbalanced trade though too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and the trading relationships that always, you know what I'm saying, benefit them but not us, you know?
Right. 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 Now I want to kind of segue into this because I was watching a documentary about Eritrea a while ago, and they were talking about the colonialism of Eritrea by the Italians. And one
Yeah,
brother said it was like apartheid. Is that true? Were the Italians really jacked
yeah.
up over there?
The thing is,
The
though, man. Yes, of course they were. Of course, you know what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, what they did was, offer power, but
right,
also at the same time, with the what's particular about the case is we were dominated though too by
yeah,
Ethiopian expansionists though as well. You know what I'm saying? That
right,
so
right,
the
right, right,
Italians, you know what I'm saying? Like you got like they're thinking of power. You know what I'm saying? And for them, they're
right,
like, okay, there's a little vacuum that we can fill though too because these peoples they don't like the Ethiopian, you know what I'm saying, royalty. So,
right,
like, if we can pivot and show them that, hey, we can provide them opportunities, but as well as like show them that we're not like them. So, because
right.
certain Eritrean ethnic groups, man, welcome the Italians because they were tired of
Oh, okay,
Ethiopian domination. Like
okay, yeah,
with many groups, like you feel me in Editown stuff like that. But when they realized how
right,
the Italians really were, though, you know what I'm saying? That's when they was like, wait, hold on, these people, they're only
yeah,
here for their own profit motive, for their own benefit. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? And we're not rocking with that, you know. And
right,
even in Asmeta though, man, like they were said like the nicest parts of Asmeta though, you know what I'm saying, was only inhabited by Italians because they brought a lot of their
right,
people over there. Like
right.
African, like if you were like indigenous born from or African, like you couldn't walk on the sidewalk. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
shit,
Like there was certain
oh
stuff that you weren't
shit.
allowed to. So it was like still apartheid. You know what I'm saying? It was a
Yeah,
apartheid governance. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is though, the Italians also that they don't want them to be educated. So like they capped it after fourth grade. Nobody can like you know what I'm saying be educated to learn like that. So
right,
everybody's based off of using for labor, for labor,
right,
for labor, for labor. So there
right,
was a
right,
lot of
right,
like even to this day, man. There's a lot of mechanics, a lot of handymans that are good with tools,
right,
good with working with their hands, and they learn because the Italians was like, okay, you guys are this is what you guys are suited for. You guys are
mm-hmm,
inferior, and you're only suited for menial stuff. And with the Eritreans, they were like, you
right,
know what? We're gonna learn all this menial stuff, and we're gonna build our stuff later on. So they took the
right,
skills they
right,
learned
right,
and they put
right,
it to use.
right, right,
And
right,
but
right. And that
but
and
also
that
but go ahead. Sorry.
and that's another thing that can be said in the book as well. It's the fact that the dexterity of Africans, he tapped into that, like how even before Europeans, we were doing work with our hands, having bronzes and having brass and stuff like that. And it's crazy, unfortunate, of course the picture is painted that we're inferior and things like that, but it's unfortunate that a lot of those things exist in museums right now in Europe.
No, 100%, man, 100%. And I also
Yeah,
liked how like exactly like you was saying, man. I liked how he was saying that being educated by your mind, like being educated with how to use tools, is just important between education. You know what I'm saying of the mind,
right,
because
right, right,
how
right,
how how, are you, how else are you gonna learn like how to build and stuff like that? It's just as important.
right,
And he's so right,
right,
man. Because like
right, and
even when we first learned, like we had to use tools to lead to like more development. You know what I'm saying? Like with our hands and like
exactly.
dominance of our other like you know what I'm saying our physical world and learning from nature though. Like
Exactly, exactly. And that's the one thing that I like about the whole first chapter is the universality of what he's talking about how, like, in order to succeed, you kind of have to learn how to adapt and conquer nature, and that was one of the things that really came, like, really like expanded my mind, because you look at the nature we live in now, and it's just a universal law, like with anywhere you go. Like, for
oh I like
example,
that.
it's like a universal thing, because, like, for example, like, like, a person may be in Chicago, right? So they're gonna have to, like, learn how to survive in Chicago, right? A person may be, like, down south. they're going to have to learn to survive there, and those tools can be universal. Like there may be a need for one service more than the other service. So you will have to learn how to use one of those goods, learn how to become skilled in one of those things in order to survive.
Precisely, man. Like,
Yeah,
and it's like according, just like how you said, I like how you use that example though too of depending on where you're from. Like in
yeah,
San Diego, we're by the beach, by the water. So there's gonna be more
right,
people that's like, just in general. I'm not talking about like, you know what I'm saying. Just since it's a beach, like close to the beach, there's gonna be more
right, right,
people
right,
that's
right,
gonna
right,
work by the coast and whatnot. Chicago,
right,
like they're by a lake. They're like Windy City. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So there's
right,
gonna be people that are gonna understand like, hey, how do I stay away from the wind, or how do I create structures to withstand the wind? California
right, right,
earthquakes.
right,
You know what I'm saying? In the South, like, oh, it's
right,
hot over there. Like, they deal with flooding from hurricanes, so they're gonna
right,
know about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
but the how you saying universal, like universal wise, like everybody understands that the niche where they're from, like they have to apply that. You know what I'm saying, to where they're from and stuff like that too, and how to use that. Like I'm not sure if that made
Exactly.
sense. It made sense in my bad. I should explain
No,
that
it
better.
makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense because when you look at it, I mean, you can just look at like Africa, different areas of Africa. Some areas had gold that needed to be cultivated, right? Some
Yeah.
areas maybe had ivory that needed to be used. They had to learn how to use those things, use those resources, depending on what area they were in, you know. So that's a very thing that's a very like universal thing that he revealed in the book. The he did have some unpopular truths in chapter 1 though. Like I mean, one thing that unfortunately is holding Africans back. This is a sad truth, but it's even holding people back here. He said that the average person in general needs like 3,000 calories a day,
Oh yeah. Right after
right?
after he was talking about per capita, he was talking about the calories. Go ahead though. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So if you are barely getting enough calories, and like you can get 3,000 calories depending on the type of foods you're eating, and the amount of protein, as he said. But if you're not really eating like that, then like you can't really function because
Ex-
that's like the that's a basic human need is food.
Basic human need, food, and for food to burn energy. Like how you gonna burn
Exactly.
energy on an empty stomach? Like that's not good for your mind though too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all interconnected and all interrelated. Like if you're not eating well enough to have energy to go out about your day and do stuff, then that's gonna play a part with your mental as well. Like your physical
Right.
and your mental.
Right. And that's we see that everywhere, unfortunately, not just in Africa. We see it more in Africa, but shit, that shit exists here too.
Oh, 100%. Just like exactly how you said, the extent which basic goods and social services are available in a country can also be measured indirectly by looking at life expectancy, the frequency of deaths among children, the amount of malnutrition, the occurrence of
Yeah.
diseases which would be prevented by inoculation and public services, and the proportion of literacy. How much like what affects us in Africa affects us over here and stuff like that too.
Facts. Facts. It's just they try to hide it, but
Oh, of
it's
course.
out here. It's out here. And another thing too is that how are you going to build a nation if you don't even have the basics there? You don't even have the foundations there. You have one doctor per like 70,000, they said, in
Yeah, it
certain
was
instances.
let me go to that. Yeah, right here it says the lack of doctors is a major drawback In Italy, there's one doctor for every 580 Italians, and in Czechoslovakia, there's one doctor for every 510 citizens. In Niger, one doctor must do for 56,140 people. Tunisia, one doctor for
Exactly.
8,000. Chad, one doctor for 73,000. So even with the people though too, if they know, doctor, I'm not gonna see a doctor. I might as well say fuck it and thug it out, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
man,
Because they know that seeing a doctor will be damn near impossible. That's the thing. And so that's why it gets on my nerves when the United States, especially the United States, they try to
especially the
say
United States.
they try to say Cuban doctors are slaves. And I'm like, are you kidding me? My sister studies in Cuba to become to become a nurse.
Oh, that's what's
They
up.
go to African countries to help us out. But
Yeah,
yet you
and they
want
have a
to throw
history of it too.
propaganda? Huh? You what did you say?
They have a
What
history of Cuba
yeah.
helping out African nations and stuff.
Yeah. So you have the nerve to like throw shade when you guys like imagine for an African to want to be a doctor in Cuba, they can go for free, right? And
Mm-hmm.
study for free, as my sister is doing. However, if an African wants to come to the United States, and I've seen it happen before, they may have credentials as a doctor in Africa, right? They come to the United States and they
Yeah,
have to start over all over again. Their
all over again.
credentials, yeah, their credentials in Africa mean nothing over here. So what does that mean? Is becoming a doctor then uh more of a moral thing, or is it more of a financial gain? Because they're going to have to pay even more money
Even more
to
money
study.
and loans as well too.
Exactly.
And they have to
Exactly.
make that money back though too. So like in a way though, they have to sacrifice their dignity and sacrifice like what they learned to make money. Like
Exactly.
being over here.
Exactly.
Like no, you're right, and I think that like it's perfect that you're saying that because also like the brain drain from
Yeah.
what I'm saying from where we're from,
Yeah.
even like I know people, man, that like study over here to do lawyer, doctor, and all that
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
needed
Yeah.
more over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
It's needed
like
more.
it's needed more over there, but it's contributing to a brain drain from
Right.
where we're from to over here, and who's benefiting from that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of
Right.
the day, like, maybe individuals benefit, maybe their families benefit, but at the end of
But
the day, who's really benefiting? Um,
yeah,
the U.S. You
it,
feel me? And it's
you,
and
exactly.
it perpetuates the wrong things though too because we're very like communal. Like, you know what I'm saying? All like Africans are. That's one thing
Yeah,
I learned, man. Is Africans are
he
very
used that
communal and
word a
stuff
lot.
like that.
He
He used
yeah,
it,
he used that word a lot in the book.
and that's another thing that it does though too. It's making us something that we're not. Because think about it, like I'm not saying that of course Africans, but they always look out, you know what I'm saying, for their own. And there's some that use their education over here to go back over
Right.
there. But how many of them
Right.
become bourgeoisie? How many of them become something that's like Western minded just to
Right.
benefit
Right. Right.
themselves or
Right.
their families and stuff like that, and it
Right.
kind of perpetuates though even more like damn, like we're becoming Europeans. The
Right.
like if we're gonna like out of 10, if we used to take 10 Africans, right?
Right.
If there's 7 of them out of 10 that's just trying to just benefit themselves, and there's 3 out of 10 that's going back home to help out, like
Right. Right.
that's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, it's a problem. And I'll tell you what else is the problem that he mentioned in the book. It's a simple fact that we really didn't have time to develop the way we should have because of the European implosion. Because of that European industrial age, we really didn't have like a way of developing because we were being like sucked into a system that, you know, unknowingly was going to mess us up. You know, that's what
No
happened.
facts, facts.
So, you know, when you have slavery, you have to understand that we're not going to have time to develop with slavery because number one, we're going to be trying to look out for our own, not to get enslaved. Number two, we're going to unfortunately like fight others in order to, yeah, like it's survival mode. Like with the whole slavery, it becomes survival mode. It's like it's either him or me.
Or
That's what
me.
happens. So you don't have time to develop us. You know what I mean? Because of this outside force. You know,
Man.
that's the issue. And it's
And it
yeah, and
uses
that's
in and it
go
uses
ahead.
it uses internal like I like using the 10 out of like if all it takes is like one or two out of those 10 Africans that just care about themselves to fuck everything up, you know. And those if
It's
I
true.
love how he says it, the
It's true.
external forces they hire the internal Africans that is like, hey, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna look out for you. Here, you'll get paid. Just fuck up your people, and
It's true. It's
like
true.
they get the rotten apples to spoil the rest of the
It's
apples.
true. It's so true. It's so true. It's so true. It's unfortunate, but it's the damn truth, man. It's the damn truth. In that first chapter, he just pretty much breaks down everything. But what needs to be said too is he's not saying that we are not to be responsible for doing what we need to do ourselves, but he's just saying that all of these factors have led us to be where we are today, you know.
Oh, of course, and he also was saying like every African should know of this and
Yeah,
have like an awareness of this, you know, because
right,
like they're purposely not being taught about it or miseducated. You know what I'm saying? To
right,
not know about it. You feel me?
right,
And like it's just like, and even in spite of all that, though, like think about it, man. Even in spite of all that, there are people like you and me and others out there. You know what I'm saying? That
right.
still crave for this knowledge, you know. So it shows though too
Yeah,
by like, you feel me? Like honestly, I just believe like it's like also divine though too that you feel me like that like
right.
God is not on their side, man. Like the universe is not on their side, man, because the universe is spiting them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
but that's the problem. It's like with these universal laws of development that he lays. It's like if you like go against it so much, then the planet is going to turn against you. Like that's the thing. Like it's going to go against you. Um, I'm sorry to say it, but I see it firsthand in LA. The I'm dead serious when I see it firsthand in LA. And what I mean by this that is going against them is I cannot name how many places, and I'm talking about ritzy neighborhoods. I'm talking about these ritzy places where you are seeing more homeless encampments, where you are seeing more people strung out on drugs, where you are seeing more people, where you are seeing these neighborhoods that are supposedly posh and ritzy get filthy and are very dirty, because again they're trying to do so much that it's going against them. Like the spiritual forces are going against what they're
against
doing,
them,
you know. It's going against them,
man.
you know.
I like that, man. Spiritual forces are going against what they're doing. That's a fact, man.
It is because you have to just look at where you have to look at the pandemic, bro. Look at what happened during the pandemic. They tried to, you know what they tried to do? But thankfully,
Hmm.
God protected us. God protected the continent of Africa for the most part.
Yeah.
They tried to like put it in the media. They tried to say, oh, Africa is not ready for a COVID pandemic. Africa cannot afford to have this. And to be honest, many places, I mean, honestly, there was not that many cases of COVID in Africa, being a large continent. But down here, that shit went batshit crazy. I'll tell you that much.
Shit, that's an understatement, my man. That shit went
Yep,
cuckoo, man. Cuckoo.
yep,
You
yep,
right.
yep. But God protected us because, you know, I think for the most part, although like, Africans, we have some work to do. We do have
Oh, of
some work to
course.
do, a lot of work to do, but I think for the most part, we're kind of still in our natural disposition. I think that's why we were protected, because we still have kind of our natural disposition.
Listen.
Yeah.
Damn,
And
that's a
so
great way
that's
to put it, bro. I didn't even think about that, man. You're right.
yeah,
You're right, man.
yeah, yeah. And so that book, this book brings out that kind of stuff. I mean, even when you read about the means of production, when you look at Africa, for example, when he talks about the means of production and stuff like that, unfortunately, the means of production are from Western countries. I'll give you one
Western
example.
countries.
I'll give you one example, and then whatever other points you have, yeah, let me know. But there's one example in Ivory Coast. They have the most, like one of the most chocolates, right? They have the
Yeah.
like a high amount of chocolate. But this is how backwards Ivory Coast is. Ivory Coast doesn't really have like any, how should I put it? Any like indigenous factories where they can produce the chocolate. They don't
Chocolate.
really have that in Ivory Coast. So what they do is they ship the chocolate to a place like Belgium or Switzerland, and then they have to buy back their own chocolate in the form of candy bars, in the form of cocoa or something like that. But they have the material, but they just don't have the means of production. And you see how ass backwards that is?
Super. And, man,
You're literally buying your shit back.
it's something that you naturally produce, and
But we don't own the means, we don't own no factories, we don't own no even the basic things to produce, you know? That's the problem. And he brings that up in the book, you know, means of production, you know.
no, you're right.
Yep. What else did you that what else stuck out to you about the first chapter?
Man, so on page 31, man,
Yeah.
this when he's talking about how, like, right after he uses that verse, the interpretation that underdevelopment is somehow ordained by God. That's like the only argument they can have, bourgeoisie economists,
Right.
to explain how, you know what I'm saying, their parasitical relationship with Africa, like, and they
Right.
justify it by like, oh, it's ordained by God, and
Right.
it's a racist trend in European
Right.
scholarship, and it is in line with racist prejudice to say openly or imply that their countries are more developed because their people are innately superior, and that responsibility for the economic backwardness of Africa lies into the generic backwardness of the race of Black
Right.
Africans. But the
Right.
next part, though, man, that is just like, ah, man, is is so important though too, because we internalize it and we use it against each other. An even bigger
Right.
problem is the people of Africa and other parts of the colonized world have gone through a cultural and psychological crisis and have accepted at least partially the European version of things. That means that the African
Facts.
himself has doubts about his capacity to transform and develop his
Facts.
natural environment. And it's like, man,
That's the truth.
And
It's
then
the
right after he
truth.
says, with such doubts, he even challenges those of his brothers who say that Africa can and will develop through the efforts of its own people, man. So like we're being ourselves worst critics, but not like at the same token like our biggest like encouragement. Like
And that's the truth. That is the fucking truth. And unfortunately, I see this shit carry out in because I have family in three places. I have family in Cape Verde, I have family in Guinea-Bissau, and I have family in Senegal. And I'm sorry to say it, but in Cape Verde, it's just carried out so damn much, unfortunately, that there is this sense of inferiority, this African inferiority complex, which makes which programs the psyche of people to make them think that everything Portugal, everything Portuguese is better. That you to do things our indigenous way is somehow,
mm,
as he said in the book, somehow inferior to doing things their way. You know, and it's so messed up, bro, that we have
bro,
this, unfortunately. It's
it's
so
bro,
sad.
it's that shit is diabolical, man. That like they
It
knew what they was doing
is.
with that. You feel me? Especially what they was intending for it to like happen though. So like
Right.
we can kind of like cannibalize ourselves in a way, man. And it's like,
Facts.
and some of us don't even like realize it though too. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is though,
Yeah.
man, as much as they have succeeded in certain ways, they have
Right.
failed though too, because you can't take that essence of Africanness like away from an African though. Truly,
Right.
you
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
it's like they otherwise, we would have died out. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
true. That's true. No, that's definitely the fact.
so.
He also
But
said,
go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
now to piggyback off of what you said, he also said that you know, um that to piggyback off of the point you made, having the European language was also a means of separating us because of the simple fact that those languages were imposed on us to communicate with them, not to communicate with one another. We already were communicating with one
Yeah.
another. But now you ask the simple African, like one African may ask you, follow Portuguese. And then you say, Sim, follow Portuguese. And it's like, wow, he, he's looking at you based on if you speak a European language over your own damn indigenous language.
Yeah, and it's he was saying though too, to piggyback on top of that though too, like the reason why they brought that language though too is so the exploiter can communicate with the exploited, and
Exactly.
like not like African languages, so they can Africans can communicate with each other, or not what they say like, oh, we're bringing a language to, what I'm saying, bring all these ethnic groups that are like diverse and have their own languages. You know what I'm saying? Making
Right.
it like lingua franca, like a common language for
Right.
everybody to speak. They made it seem like it's a benefit, but it really
Right.
isn't. It's just the
No, it's not.
exploited, and then also like to move on up, you have to not learn your mother tongue or not learn like,
Right.
what I'm saying, indigenous languages from where we're from. Like that makes
Right.
no sense.
It doesn't. It makes no sense at all. You know, it really doesn't make any sense. You know, that's why, sometimes, man, and this is just kind of like off topic. It's like
No, it's all good, man.
it's like sometimes you look at, like, for example, fashion, and you know that soccer is big where we come from. You know that
Oh
football is
yeah.
big where we come from. But you see the fashion, for example, like you see, like even like Puma, they got some fly stuff. But you see that maybe a jacket may have Italy, the soccer team on it, And then it's like, damn, do I really want to buy it, even if it looks nice, knowing the history behind that shit? It's like that wrestles in your head. You know what I mean? Especially after reading like part of this book, you're like, damn, man, do I really want to buy it? Like, do you want to just like do you look at it as a fashion statement, or do you look at it as fuck? Like, damn, I'm like really rocking like a Italy jersey or an Italy jacket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. And man, back then, man, like I totally feel what you're saying, though, man. Because even with me, like back then, man, I used to be a sneakerhead, man, like tough. But
Yeah,
over time, man, like I was just like inside, man, like it's like I'm dying inside, man. You feel me? Not literally,
yeah,
God forbid, knock on wood. You know what I'm saying? But like
yeah,
I can't talk about this or be about this, but then I'm wearing this that is
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
exploiting, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying, my folks and stuff. Even having an iPhone in a way, man, is just like
yeah.
anytime using
Any
it,
of these phones, any of
you
these
know,
phones.
any of these phones, man, and it's like having to reconcile that, you know what I'm saying, all the time, and it's like, man, and wonder why we always angry, like exactly like we were saying before, like it's like, dude, like there's just a lot that we just have to like bite down,
It,
man,
it,
you know.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like people. I tell people this. I tell some of like people this. Like, I say we're not the cause of the continent. We're the effect of it. You know,
Where the L.
we're the
I'm
effect of
listening.
the
I'm
shit.
listening.
We're the effect of the shit. You know, and that book just kind of goes into the causes of the shit, but then you see the devastating effects of it, though. Even from that first chapter, you see the devastating effects of it. You know, I mean, if you don't have the basic necessities, then how can you become a developed nation? You know, it's no
Yeah,
coincidence that he said that Africa is not the only least developed nation. He mentioned Latin America and he
Latin
mentioned Asia.
America, Asia.
And when you think about it, in Asia, the least developed places you would have to say is Southeast Asia, like Cambodia, um, Laos, and those type of places. You know, um, and in Latin America, it's everywhere. But the most common factor, this is the most common factor of these places. Most of the people are either black or kind of inclined to black, with a small, like very light skinned minority,
Yeah,
especially in Latin America, you know.
especially in Latin America, man. Especially in Latin
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
You not lying, man. You not lying at all, man.
Yeah.
And I thought it was
But
like Well, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. You wasn't
no,
done
no,
yet.
go ahead. I was just gonna ask you like what other things in the book stood out to you that you were like, man, this is crazy.
Like let me see, cause it was well page 31. I already read to you that, but
Yeah.
oh, what was another one, man? Man, next time, man, I'm gonna have to make sure that I write like that's one thing I
Yeah,
fucked up.
write some notes.
Writing it,
Yeah, write
yeah,
some
man.
notes.
Cause like I was just like, man, I don't want to interrupt the reading and stuff like that. But I'm gonna do that for the next chapters. But
Yeah, yeah,
it was
just
one
write some
particular.
notes. Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah,
I love how he incorporated Friends Fanon, man. Because in Wretched
yeah.
of the Earth, man, I read Wretched of the Earth by Franz Fanon, and Black Skin of
Oh
Africa.
yeah,
It's
I
like,
actually have that book myself too.
hey man, that I love Franz Fanon, but in Wretched of the Earth, he talks about this and that link with the question of the minority in Africa, which serves as a transmission line between the metropolitan capitalists and dependencies in Africa. The importance
Right.
of this group cannot be underestimated. The presence of a group of African sellouts is part of the definition of underdevelopment. Any
Right.
diagnosis of underdevelopment in Africa will reveal not just low per capita income and proven deficiencies, but also the gentleman who danced in Abidjan, Accra, and Kinshasa when music is played in Paris, London, and New York. And man, when we apply that to even now, though, man, like think about who the U.S. helps out in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Who they
Right.
support, who they're there for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's for their people that they use as minority to fuck up everybody else. You
That's
know?
true. And that's why it's like it with the fans for none, the wretched of the earth. And people say this is the one thing people say, like Europeans will say Africans kill each other and things like that, but they're not giving the underlining reason why
Oh no, not at
Africans
all.
are killing. Go ahead.
Because they have their hands in. I know several examples that I can name right now. You know what I'm saying? Even in Africa right now, and also have been there that
Yeah.
are doing the work of Europeans and Westerners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're profiting. The Europeans and Westerners are profiting, but are the people as a whole profiting? Even their own people, are they profiting? Not at all.
Nope.
And
Nope.
they have to use tribalism though too, and the authority to dominate the majority of folks to achieve those
Right.
ends. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. They're not telling you why that this is happening. You know, they're not telling you that there's a want between each side and that each side has to scramble to get the little crumbs that they can get because most of the what is that word they say? Uh,
Hmm.
the lion's share is not even in their country. You know, it's in Europe.
It's in
People
Europe.
don't people don't understand that. People don't understand that if Africa, in order for Europe, in order for the Western world to function, Africa has to stay poor.
Has
If
to stay
Africa
poor no
wasn't
matter what.
if Africa wasn't poor, they wouldn't. Their shit would listen. They would be living like, oh my god, people don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. They would be living so primitively if the shoe was on the other foot. If the shoe was on the other foot, you have no idea how they would be living right now. I mean, you can already see it taking place in different
Man,
places here. I kid you not, bro. On any given day, on any given day, you walk outside of LA in any part of LA, you will see a homeless encampment under the freeway or in a different place. I'm telling you.
nah, man, I
So
believe it, man.
so what they're doing ain't working either.
Oh, not at all. But this is the thing that's, and just like bro, just like he was saying though, man, that in recent times, the capitals of Western Europe were the ones who actively extended their exploitation from inside of Europe to cover the whole of Africa. In recent times, they were joined and to some extent replaced by the capitalists from the United States. And for many years now, even the workers of these metropolitan countries have benefited from the exploitation and underdevelopment of. I mean, that's how they got rich. Belgium,
Exactly.
West Germany, all these countries, they don't have the resources to sustain their uh their citizens. They don't have the resources,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying, that the money like the British pound is the whatchamacallit is the richest form of currency, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In the whole
Right.
entire world. Why? Because they had to loot everybody, had to freaking, you know what I'm saying, like take over fucking places, wipe out people, take over
Right.
their land, take over their resources for the British pound to get words to the US dollar too. You know what I'm saying? And I liked how he said that they use it though too with their military though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's the nature of why they have like their military powerful though too. It's not just to we have to protect our land. No, man, that's not even the primary reason. Primary reason is defend their interests and defend their profit.
That,
Like
that part. That part. That part. That's it. That's it for real. You know. Um, and to segue in more to what he said in the book about that whole the whole thing is that, like, you have to keep a people subjugated in order for you to stay above water, and that's exactly what they do, so they make us look like idiots, they make us look like mindless fools, but in reality we're just in survival mode. That's what it really
Yeah,
comes down.
and we're
And
like
he
while
talks
we're
about
swimming,
he
there's someone
yeah,
on our back. You know what I'm saying? While we're swimming, there's somebody on the back not doing any work, and they're the ones
and
staying
this
afloat
is
and
another
above surf.
thing, and this is another thing about it. You force our hand, or you force our parents' hand, or you force a relative's hand. So because you make the situation, or you assist in making the situation inhospitable where we come from, we end up over here. We
Exactly.
end up in France, we end up in Portugal, we end up in Italy, we end up in Netherlands, we end up anywhere besides where we come from. I kid you not, like, not, and this is not to brag. I have a big family. I have a very large family.
Hey, me too, brother. Me too.
I ask my aunt all the time, I'm like, okay, where else do we have family? She'll say, oh, yeah, they're in Italy, they're in Spain, they're in Portugal, they're in France, they're in London, they're in Russia. Why though? Because of the reason, how shall I say it? For the very same reason that we're over here. It's just in, like, if, like, for example, if a Western person says, then why are you over here? Like, a Western person may say, why are you over here? All the best way to respond is because you guys won't leave from where I'm from. You guys won't leave, you know?
Yeah, and also, your government, your military forced me to be here. It's as simple as
Exactly.
that. Like
That's
everything
it.
happens for a reason. Like the reason why we're over here though is also I've always been convinced of it and stuff like that. It's purposeful because number one, they do want us off their land. I mean, off our own land. Number two, they don't
Facts.
want us to learn about, you know what I'm saying, who we are and learn about like where we come from and the roots of who we are and stuff like that. Because otherwise, if we did, do you think we're gonna be rocking with them, or do you think that there's gonna still be people like saying like, "Oh man, you guys saved me, you guys gave me a home." Like,
Nah,
I'm
we're
grateful. You feel me? I'm grateful for
I'm
being here
thankful
compared
too.
to like, you know what I'm saying. I know we all are from my cousins over there, but I'm not gonna forget the why though. Who is
Yeah,
directly responsible for my family being over here and stuff like that? Like, if you've
yeah.
manufactured weapons to kill us, so we can
It,
be off our lands, so you can
right,
bring in your companies, bring in your
right,
peoples to inhabit that land and to take
right.
over. And then when you're there for generations or a certain amount, you're like, oh, I belong here too. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. That's stolen shit. And they do that everywhere, man. You know what I'm
They
saying?
do that
Like,
everywhere. They do that
and they've done it
everywhere.
over. Like, think about it, man. There's Europeans in South Africa that consider themselves South African, or in
Exactly.
Zimbabwe, or
Yeah,
when they was in Zimbabwe, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, or when they were in certain places, and it's like, how dare you, like how
yeah.
dare you do
Exactly.
that
How dare
without
you?
like not realizing like what your people did though to go to be over there and stuff like that, like
Right.
and they keep their own people stupid with propaganda and to not know what really goes on and stuff like that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the
It's
support
true.
to do what they do. You know,
That's true. That's true.
like
Now, now, not to segue too much off
no,
topic,
it's
but
good.
I mean,
It's good.
but I think this does relate to the book a little bit. Is this whole conflict with this TPLF and this Ethiopia? Is this thing a manufactured European proxy, United States as well, proxy war? Is this what it
Definitely,
is? Okay.
definitely. Think
Okay.
about
I
it,
just
man.
sure.
This is a group. This is a group, man. That I'm not even gonna lie, man. Even like Ethiopia is a huge country and has many ethnic groups, but
Right.
through its
Right.
history, it's been dominated by, what I'm saying, the royalty, which consisted of Amhara and Tigray and stuff like that. And
Right.
also though, that for us, like I'm Eritrean, I don't like Ethiopian expansionist period. Like I got love for my Ethiopian brothers and sisters as long as they don't think of it in expansion terms. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm
Right.
done with
Right. Right.
expansionists and stuff like that.
Right.
But this is
Right.
the
Right.
thing
Right.
though. The US and Europe, what they're doing over there is what they do everywhere, all
Okay.
across the globe. You know what I'm saying? And then they're not gonna say nothing when the groups that they install are killing people, causing
Right.
havoc,
Right.
causing disability, like you know what I'm saying, instability and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But as soon as their groups are get taken out, or you know what
Right.
I'm saying, are using, they want to use human rights. They want to use, you know what I'm saying, certain
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
humanitarian stuff. You feel me? To say, oh, like you guys can't be doing this, but it's like, dude, selective justice is injustice, man. You can't just
That that's
you
true.
can't just be talking about the people that you support and the people that you was silent on when they was killing a bunch of other people so in the region, not
That's
just
true.
Ethiopians, Eritreans and Somalis, you know what I'm saying?
That's
And
true.
now you want to be about human rights and humanitarianism. It doesn't work like that. It does
No,
not
it
work
doesn't
like
work
that.
like that
And
at
people
all.
are not
Hell
stupid. You
no.
can do all the disinformation and propaganda that you want. Because the thing with TPLF, though, they don't even give a fuck about their own people, though, and stuff like that as well. Like,
Yep.
even before all this happened during the locusts, there was locusts in Africa, bro. And
Right.
some of the people over there, man, was struggling because they bankrupted their own region and stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
in 1998, 2000, all the crimes that they committed during that war, man, and they
Hmm.
have a track record, man. All the shit that they did, they're
Do.
trying to blame on Eritreans now. What?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not cool.
No, man,
Not
it's not cool at all. But the thing is, though, too, what's worse is besides the weaponize that stuff, you're only saying it to only benefit yourself. Like
mm-mm.
it's haram, bro. Like beyond, like you can't do that. Like that
Right.
just dilutes everything. You're diluting humanity. You're diluting humanitarianism. You're diluting justice. You're diluting everything that you're touching. Because
Right.
I mean, think about it though, man. Where do they learn from? Who's giving them the attention and stuff like that? Why are they getting attention from international media? Why are they getting attention from politicians? What, like from the West, white folks? Money talks the
Right.
loudest all the time. You feel me?
Right. That's true.
All the time, money talks the loudest. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want us to discern and you know what I'm saying, connect the dots. You feel me?
Right.
Like they
Right.
want us to be like, hey, just listen to me, trust me. What I'm saying is true. You feel me? And
Right.
I'm not rocking that because I know history and I know like politics and stuff like that too. So you can't shame while being shameless, man. At the end of the day,
Yeah. No,
like you feel me.
exactly.
And the
It,
thing is, though, I actually feel bad for the people, you know what I'm saying, of that region and stuff like that too. Because think about it, it's a feudal structure, man. Like the way they came is a feudal structure. They're still like doing it in terms of like monarchy, bro. Like one of their leaders,
yeah.
bro, was a fucking, a feudal lord, a feudal
Mm.
warlord, and the son of a feudal warlord. You feel me? And
Right.
the structure they have though too is they haven't forgotten about that. They're using the same exact structure. So how are you going to claim that you're for this, you help out for your people, but you kill your own people, you use your own people, you use false flag attacks, and they have a history of doing it,
Exactly.
and you're trying to
Exactly.
blame somebody else? Like, think about it, man. At the end of the day, the U.S. is not your neighbors. The Europeans are not your neighbors. So you're
Right.
bringing in other people to fucking cause harm and bloodshed. That's why nobody is friends with them. That's why nobody likes them because they literally think of themselves of, and that group brainwashed their region. You know what I'm saying? To think of themselves as the golden people
Yeah,
as
bro.
better than the this, we're better than that, and everything. The talk is lip service. Actions is everything, like Nipsey says, man. And actions always speak louder than words, man. And even
Yeah,
when you see between the
demonstration.
lines, man, yeah, man, you see what they're
Yeah,
really saying. You feel me? So it's
yeah,
like, yo,
demonstration.
yeah, man, and it's like, dog, you're not gonna bullshit me. You're not gonna bullshit us with that, bro.
Yeah,
Like, you feel
laying
me?
a demonstration, laying a demonstration, like he said, like laying a demonstration, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Because the thing is, though, too, is also to deflect for certain shit. They're not saying nothing about the Eritrean refugees being killed over there, raped over
no,
there, over like 12-year-olds getting killed and stuff like that, women
yeah,
getting raped, children getting raped. Like, dog, the thing is, bro, in the 1998 2000 war, bro, they raped like this 80-year-old lady, bro. They raped this 80-year-old lady, man,
that's
back then,
crazy.
bro. Like, they
That's
sent
crazy.
looting teams in the war and stuff like that of civilians to do
That's
dirt,
crazy.
loot everything. Do you feel me? And now they're trying to blame the exact crimes that they did on Eritreans, man. Like,
That's crazy.
to to
And
to
let
to,
me
to
ask you
erase
this.
the history of it, man.
Well, let me ask you this question, bro, and then we're gonna wrap up, and then we'll
Yeah, of
decide
course, of course.
when we're gonna come on again for chapter two. We'll decide when we're gonna come on. Well, let me ask you this, bro. Do you think the reason for this though is because of Eritrean sovereignty and the Eritrean desire not to have like a World Bank or have this structure? Is
Of
that the
course,
reason they're doing
of
this?
course, of course. Because think about it, man. They're a group that's propped up by Western interests, so
Right,
they're only doing what Master says. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right,
Like the U.S., the UN, Europe, they don't like
right,
Eritrea. They can't control it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
They can't like it's spiteful that it's spiteful for them that they won their independence. You know what I'm saying? All that
right,
because they didn't say when the border commission ruled that our lands is our lands. You know what I'm saying? After the war and stuff like that, TPLF
right,
controlled Ethiopia, didn't leave. And what did the U.S. say about that? Nothing. Silence. Nothing.
right, right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying? Nothing at
right,
all. For all my
right,
people suffering and stuff like that, for all the pain and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? They dealt with and proven to be right. They still
right,
stayed in our lands after it
right,
was
right,
ruled that
right,
it's Eritrea's lands. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
we can talk.
It goes
We
back
can
to
talk
it,
way,
it
way
goes
more.
back to that
It goes.
it goes back to the book though, bro, about development.
All the way back to and it all ties in, man. It all ties in, and we can talk more about that too as well. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? When we're reading,
yeah,
when we're reading this book more and stuff. You feel
yeah,
me? Because it's
yeah,
gonna require like more time to discuss and shit like that. And
yeah,
you feel
yeah.
me?
I
Like,
you know what? I think we should do that in the next one. We should do that on like we can use something in the book and then equate that to something that's going on in Africa right now to show the timelessness of the book, you know, the
yeah,
timeless.
and the time. I love how you said that to show the timelessness of the book. Because, man,
Yeah.
Walter Rodney, bro, in the '60s, man, they were so aware. They're smarter than a lot of us now. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And
hell yeah,
that
they were. Hell yeah,
that is why that we're in the situation that we're in, because the West got intimidated by this, man, and they had to kill off people
all
like
of them.
this. You know what I'm saying? Because like Walter Rodney, man, he's predicting all this stuff, man. Like, some of this shit is like prophetic in a way, man. Like the shit that
It
he's
is.
talking about,
Hell
like
yeah.
it's
Hell
like
yeah.
we
Hell
see it
yeah.
present day though too. You feel me? Like, and
Hell yeah.
like that's not the only example. There's multitudes of examples though. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is though, bro, even people over there, they try to say like like we're the exception, we're this and that. Like, no, like when you connect all the dots, man, you see
Yeah.
the larger strategy at hand. You feel me?
Right. 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 So that's what the war. So that's what this massive thing is all about. Really, is the sovereignty of Eritrea that they don't like. Is it because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Even with Eritrea, how y'all handle COVID, y'all handled it pretty damn well. Better than here. Way better than here. By far. like damn near 95% better. Now,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot we don't know and stuff like that too. But no, no, I mean, you're not lying about that though. You feel me?
yeah. So is the real fear though? Is the real fear that the ideas, the Eritrean idea will catch on to the rest of Africa? Is that the fear?
Yes, yes, man. Of course. Look what they did to Amilcar Cabral, man. You know what I'm saying? Saw the
Yeah,
stuff that he was doing, like agriculture wise,
yeah,
like, and at the time during the independence war, man, they was building underground hospitals, man. Like they were man,
yeah,
like they were like what's the whatchamacallit ahead of the curve, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Think of
yeah.
Haiti, man. How about this? Think of what they did to Haiti, bro. When Haiti won independence in 1804, you feel me?
Right, right.
And
They
there
they
was like,
hijacked the
and
shit out of it.
bro, they pretty much fucked it up for like the next what
Yeah.
200 years,
I
damn
mean,
near, man. Till
there,
today,
there,
man.
there's
Till
shit.
today,
Yeah, there's shit going on right now in Haiti as we
going
speak.
on
There's
right
shit.
now, man. And
Yeah,
it's like
there's
a
shit going on
culmination
right now.
of all of the Western fuckery that happened over there, and the U.S. fuckery that happened over there. You know, like
Yeah,
because they
that's
don't
true.
want Haiti to be example for, you know what I'm saying, the
Yeah,
enslaved
that's true.
Africans over here, for the black folks over here. They couldn't have that be an example because what happens? They lose their control. You
That's
know,
true. That's true.
everything is interconnected at the end of the day, man. Especially when it's like the plight they want to put Africans in. Because think of how unprofessional and amateur they've been. Oh, Eritrean troops are doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this, they're doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
why
yeah,
would they
yeah, yeah.
manufacture? Why would they manufacture uniforms in a factory and stuff like that? Why would they just
Mm.
send automatically rockets? You know what I'm saying, to Asmeta and stuff like that. You feel me? And the thing that people
Yeah,
forget is TPLF was trained, bro, by EPLF, bro.
they were trained by EPLF,
Yep,
and
yep.
so they just decided to like just be a splinter cell or some shit.
Nah, because we're gonna have to unpack more of that though, man. But even on
Yeah.
WikiLeaks though, man, they wanted to formally join EPLF back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
you know, although the Eritreans were sympathetic to them, they was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. You feel me? So what they
yeah.
have is a jealousy problem. At the core of it, it's a jealousy problem and shit like that.
Oh,
Because
it's a
at the
jealousy problem.
yeah, because think about it, their first general was Musia Tekle, Mahadi Tekle, and
Okay.
he was in EPLF, and he's of Tigrayan descent. And
Okay.
EPLF sent him, you know what I'm saying, to further train, and you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying, the rest of them and stuff. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's more and more and more I can tell you about that, man. Like we have to unpack that more, and I'm willing to unpack that with you, though. You feel me? Because there's
Yeah,
so
we
much
can unpack
lies
it.
and
Because
disinformation.
yeah, because I read I think I read like I believe I've read like three books on EPLF and what happened. One of them was kind of like a biography, autobiography of one of the fighters. Um, I found it interesting that the EPLF, they didn't mind taking the help from, like, let's say radical Arab states. I think some people were trained in Iraq, some
Yeah,
fighters were trained in Syria. I think some fighters were also trained in Yemen, if I'm not mistaken. But I understand why they took that help is because they there was nobody else who would help them.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And that was in the early days before those countries got destabilized too, because they
Yeah.
was receiving help and it kind of got diminished over time to being none. Even Kuwaitis though too, they helped in a certain way though too back in the day. You feel me?
Oh, really?
But yeah, man, and it all got diminished, and you know what I'm saying, like obliterated. So they was like, you know what? We just gotta help ourselves. You feel me? Like
Right, right,
whatever.
right, right,
You
right,
know,
right, right,
like
right. And you know, in that in one of those books, and this is how I kind of understood it and agreed with it, is because even with my with our movement with Amilcar Cabral, we got help from Morocco We got help from Algeria as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But in the book, they said they were kind of like reluctant to get the help from those places I named for like that the EPLF did for the simple fact that they said it brought back memories of Arab slavery. So that's why I was
yeah,
like, oh, yeah, they're African to the core. That's when I said,
yeah.
okay, they're African to the core.
Because it's for religious reasons though too. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that help was probably contingent on it being like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because with Editai, bro, like it was fought not by one ethnic group, man. Like all the ethnic groups, man, came together, man, and was like, hey, even certain even certain like certain clans, bro, that had beef from before, they dropped and was like, hey,
Oh, they
we're
dropped their
unified.
beef. They
Yeah.
dropped their beef.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for the time being, and then bro, like Christians and Muslims died together. You feel me? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
all these
Exactly.
different groups died
Exactly.
together. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it was
Yeah.
like there's no way we can do this for religious reasons, especially when outside external forces like are gonna only fund contingent on, you know what I'm saying, oh, it has to have this type of leadership, or oh, it has to be
Right.
this
Right.
type of
Right. Right.
leadership. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's
Right.
not
Right.
how it
Right.
was founded though, you feel me? And that's not how the country was founded. Like so it's
Yeah.
can't do that. And Kwame Nkrumah says it though too. Like when you have a political party or you have a country, it can't be based off of tribal, religious reasons,
Right.
regional. Also, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's gonna be certain problems that pop up that can't happen. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Right.
thanks for.
Right.
I love how you brought that up though, man.
Nah, nah, definitely. But anyhow, man, let's wrap it up. Do you have any last words? And
Yeah,
go ahead and give your last words, and then like, chapter two, we can you can just hit me up behind the scenes and we can just go ahead and go over chapter two as well.
cool. So last words, man. Thank you, bro, for setting this up, bro. Honestly, bro, like this was an hour and 17 well spent, man. Like I'm even more excited now for
Yeah,
the future
definitely.
readings, the
Definitely.
future discussions, man. And I appreciate you,
Right.
brother, for real, man. Thanks for setting this
Nah,
up.
nah, thank you for actually coming on here, and thank you for answering the call, because I just think that and this is just the last word for me. I just think it's important that we have these practical knowledges, like these practical principles, because of the simple fact that, I read somewhere else in a book that a big word doesn't mean anything, you know. And
Nothing.
I think that's what a lot of people lose track of when they're looking in like the conscious community and stuff like that. These look like big words don't really mean anything. You know what I mean? Like practicalities that we can apply mean things.
Yeah, man. And it's important, just like how he boiled it down and got to the technical stuff, like, the practical stuff, like, man, that's a way, wow. You just made me,
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that now, though, too, man. I just learned something else. I just learned another
yeah,
thing from you, man, that you just, like, opened my mind to, man. Like,
yeah, yeah.
because like even practicality, man, is like very very important, and especially like with like
Especially
being
what we're going through.
idealistic, especially what we're going through, like we have to like make sure we're idealistic but also realistic and practical with it and stuff like that
Exactly.
too, because it's all about
Yeah.
balance. At the end of the day, everything's about balance. Like
True
you're right,
story.
man.
True
So and then
story.
my bad, man, what was your name again, bro? One more time, because I didn't get
Um.
your name.
Yeah. My name is Yahya. Yeah. My name is Yahya. My real name is
Yeah,
Yahya.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but what do you prefer though? You like, what do you?
You can just go by the name I have on IG, or you can just call me by my real name too. It's fine.
All right, because the name on your IG was Fullerman and Barkindo, and then
Yeah,
Yaya.
yeah, yeah. That
You feel me?
Barkindo is my nickname. That's a nickname given to me in my language. But if you want to call me Barkindo, that's fine. You know.
For sure, I got you. And then
Yeah,
your language, is it like Fula and stuff like that? Like
yeah, yeah.
what's
Yeah, I speak Fula. I speak Fula,
hell yeah,
Creole, and Wolof. I speak full of Creole and Wolof.
Wolof.
You know.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know the artist Deco Fields.
Yeah. Deco Fields. I know him. He's from Burkina Faso.
Yeah, I fuck with him
Yeah.
tough, man. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite African musicians, bro.
Yeah. Nah. He's good. He's good. I mess with the Eritrean food. You know, I've eaten there's actually a Eritrean restaurant here. I've talked to the guy there. He's pretty cool. I tapped in and ate like the injera with the I think it was called Doro Wat or something.
Yeah,
And
Doro. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wanted him to make the coffee, but he's like, you have to like do it in a couple of days in advance because they go out the red carpet.
Yeah.
They bring out the red carpet for the coffee at the restaurant.
Hey, next time, make sure, man, that you actually do go to the little coffee stuff, bro, because it's a great like socializing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's for
Yeah,
socializing. Talking like it's a good family thing though too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not
yeah,
just
yeah,
about
yeah,
the coffee. You're like drinking
yeah,
coffee rounds and stuff like that, and you're getting closer with the family. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dope, man. It's dope. I
yeah,
definitely suggest that. You know what I'm saying? When you get the time and stuff like that to drink coffee with you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, if
yeah,
he offers
definitely.
you and stuff like that. But you know what, bro? We're gonna be exchanging a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, knowledge and information too with where we're from
Yeah,
because there's a lot I want to learn about, Guinea-Bissau and Cabo Verde, and also like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying from Fulani people and Fula people and shit like that too
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
you guys
yeah,
are
definitely.
dispersed like everywhere, man. Like you know what I'm
Everywhere,
saying, like in a lot of
everywhere,
countries, bro. Like from the
everywhere.
west to the
Like
east, man.
everywhere. People didn't even know. When I tell them, like, yeah, there's like 60,000 Fulanis in Cape Verde. Like, people were surprised. You know what I mean? People are surprised, but I'm like, we spread so far that people don't really have an idea. And speaking of which, you know, I hold this theory. A lot of people don't believe me. Um, but as a final note, I always believed that Cape Verde was always inhabited by Africans even before the Portuguese got there. I always
Oh, I
had
believe
this.
it.
Yeah, I've always had this theory in my head. I never believed that the Portuguese were the first ones on there. I never
Hell
believed.
no.
Yeah, I never believed that at all. You know.
I believe it. Well, you know what? When we do this though, man, I'm down to like hear more and more and more, man, about like Cape Verde and stuff like that because
And I'm
like
I'm I'm down to hear more about Eritrea too. You know,
hell
although I've
yeah.
read about it, I want to learn more. One of the last conversations me and Ermias had was like, he's like, yeah, you got to go there, and I'm like, yeah, I would love to go. You know, that was one of the last things we were talking about, and I said, yeah, I want to go. You know,
Yeah, man. You're gonna have
I
to,
would
man.
love, yeah, I would love
We're
it
gonna
to be in
be
a position.
we're gonna be exchanging a lot of information now, man. For real.
Yeah,
That's for damn
for
sure.
sure, for
But yeah, man.
sure.
My phone though. So let's
Yeah.
so next week, what do we the logistics? Sorry, my man. I
Um.
don't mean to cut it short. I can talk about this stuff all day though too,
No.
my
No.
man.
No.
Like,
No. No.
but
No. No. You're. It's all good. Whatever day you want to do the chapter two, just let me know, and then I can just make sure that I study, go over it more, and that I take notes out of what I got from chapter two.
okay, cool. Because I don't like I want to make sure that like it's convenient for me, but it's also convenient for you though and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You
No.
feel me?
If it
Like,
don't worry. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to make time. Don't worry. I'll make time for sure.
all right, cool, man. Because chapter
Yeah.
two, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it Friday or Saturday, and
Okay.
then yeah, dude, if you want to talk about it during the weekend or the same day and stuff like that, we can do
Yeah.
that. Or
Just
like
let me know.
if you want me, just let you know. All right, I will. I'll let you know by the weekend for sure. Then.
Yeah. Let me know. Just let me know.
Cool, man. Because I have this shit in my. I'm making sure, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm having this shit on my calendar and stuff too. I already put in my calendar for our meeting and everything, man. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yep.
for sure, man.
But
Well, for sure, brother.
yeah. All right,
Go
man.
ahead, go
Take
ahead.
it
My
easy,
bad.
bro.
I didn't mean to cut you off. You was gonna say something.
No, I was just gonna say, take it easy, bro. Have a good night.
You too, my brother. Have a good night, man. Always a pleasure, man. Good work.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
being on here.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. For real.
All right.
All right,
And
man. Till
all
next
the
week,
guests
brother.
who came in and all the guests who came in, thank y'all for tuning in. There's gonna be more to come.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know there was that much guests like
Yeah, there
that.
were a couple of guys who slid in. Yeah, a
Cool,
couple
cool,
slid in. Yeah.
cool. For
All right,
sure, man.
man.
All right, my
Yep.
brother. Have a good
All
night.
right, take it easy. You too.
All right, peace. Peace.
Peace.